But so, you know, having a little bit of faith I think is fine. I think also maybe was a little bit more concerned about having a get out of jail free card, right? Caitlyn, while you can make sure you have that spacing, if a good flank comes out from that Gragas or the Sylas, you're kind of just going to get bursted down from 100 to 0. And Lehen's taking the Tahm Kench to make sure that they have a little bit more options, both in terms of CC and, of course, that front line as well.
Yeah, so a lot of safety there towards the bottom side of the map. One interesting thing is, like, I looked at this very thin champion pool on the bottom side as far as the AD carry position, but Misfortune was still available, as was Nautilus. So the favorite bottom laners, Misfortune and Nautilus, that T1 has been playing so many times, wasn't decided to be headed towards. And then having the Nautilus and the Ornn together in game number 1 was actually very... But I don't know whether it's going to be enough to just have that Featherstorm available to try and avoid some of it. But we'll have to find out as we get onto the Rift for game number 3.
Yeah, and some cautious choices are going to be have to be made by Teddy, because there's so many things he's going to want to get out of from the enemy team, right? We have the Gragas coming into Sylas, and even to an extent, sometimes might have to watch out from maybe Tempt going for a little bit of a flank. Now, HANWHA's composition does have just supreme pick potential, right? Coming into that mid game, with all of their ultimates, and they can just delete. I mean, even I would say easily up to the Trundle. Well, but that means Haru is on the top side looking for a gank.
Yeah, Cuvée down relatively low here towards the top side as now Canna gets the bad news. Haru gets the body slam, but isn't going to flash after this this Ornn, and it's a good trade in the end. Do get the flash, so don't you worry about that, but still not a bad escape there from Canna.
Yeah, and again, that just showcases that Ornn can really turn things around if he needs to. Obviously, cannot be stopped.
So Cuz now just going to hold this minion wave as Faker was very low. Goes back, completes. Oh, okay. Just going to put down the pillar. Tempt has to flash. Whoa. Immediate flash after. There is Cuz is absolutely over-aggressive, but Effort here to try and keep him safe. Able to use the Battle Dance to keep him up as Tempt, looking for the right amount of mana for the Piercing Arrow, but great Grand Entrance, and Effort is able to play Bouncer for his jungler.
That seemed very reckless. I mean, I have to assume that it was purely because he knew that Effort was around and that they would have a way out, but it was a little risky. At the end of the day, again, nothing really transpired. I mean, they got the flash out of Tempt, obviously.
Rotation over, though, as the minion wave is going to crash for T1, and Effort and Teddy get inside track as well. So this is a lot of control for T1 at this particular point in time. But Lehen's is going to ruin everything by just eating this blue buff and buying so much time. Emperor's Divide, though, will destroy the Gragas, and First Blood goes over to Teddy. Always dangerous, but True Shot Barrage, a lot of damage onto Effort, who goes down to about 100. Zenith's still trying to chase after him, but Lehen's can't quite get the licks in on top as Tempt is going to move on over. They're like fish in a barrel for this Archer, but you can see getting ran around here by Cuz, and Lehen's doesn't quite know the direction that he wants to go, but Cuz eventually will fall down, making it a 1-for-1 over that extended trade.
Yeah, I don't... It was a really good play from T1, first of all. Obviously, they're very focused on making sure... let's make sure that this fight doesn't happen, but Haru doesn't really get ahead in any way, shape, or form. So they succeeded in that, but after the True Shot Barrage, I think Effort either trying to dodge it or maybe shield his teammates. I don't know what the priority was, but eventually ends up staying within the True Shot Barrage. That causes T1 to lose a kill on their side as well, and actually the timing then works out in favor of HANWHA being able to pick up that first grade.
Yeah, Teddy now chasing after Zenith. Knock-up not going to land there as Arcane Shift was held onto. I actually really like how Zenith has been...
Maybe going on to Faker and shielding him, but Faker was at full health. I don't think there was really any big concern for the Azir, so didn't really pay off. I mean, Effort, of course, survived, but it ended up with the rest of the team kind of scrambling to get out, Cuz paying the price, and the Drake going
over to, as Cuz is starting off the enemy red buff. Haru just clearing out his chickens at the moment, and Effort is in position once again. Lehen's just being very frustrating as the smite is going to come down, but now Lehen's might be in trouble, has to flash in order to get himself out of the way. Great Grand Entrance, and Teddy secures the kill. Teleports coming through on both sides, but Effort's able to just battle dance his way out. Canna has to flash because of the positioning of the teleport, but T1 just get their pick, and now will be able to claim plates in the mid lane.
Yeah, and ended up working out...
What?
Just really wanted to make sure that he was making an entrance there.
That was supposed to be an E, and I think that was one of the first. That was.
Yep.
I haven't seen too many fat fingers by Faker, but that was one of the first guaranteed fat
It
fingers.
actually ended up offering so many fights in the jungle that it didn't matter as much. Okay, actually.
Yeah, Ornhorn going to come in, but Cuz is in perfect position right now. There is an ultimate to offer back as Canna's taking a fair bit of damage, but the Ornhorn's going to get that double knock-up, and he's looking to try and get this trade. The flash from Cuvée, he will secure it. He might have Kingslayer back up relatively soon as well, but no, the bite comes down, and it's a 1-for-1. But that is fantastic for HANWHA.
T1 could have completely split as they saw the ultimate Irakan, and now that opens up a little bit of potential movement advantage for HANWHA around this Drake, but Faker not going to let that happen.
Yep, effort might actually fall down here as Faker doesn't use his R button, does use the flash, but he's going to push Zenit the other direction. This is very weird. I wasn't expecting that style of play, but Faker is going to be able to avoid a lot of the skill shots. As now Cuz is going to get piercingly arrowed. What is going on? This is a really strange game.
I would love to hear what is going on in T1's comms right now, because like none of that made sense. First of all, I was wondering that, and it turns out, of course, they hadn't been able to find a good opportunity for the Rift Herald because the fights ended up getting dragged on for a little too long. That gets popped bottom lane for no advantage, and then
to get that knock-up. But Cuz doesn't have the pillar for quite some time. Had actually used it on the... and just came back up as the Ram was coming back. We're going to see the fight yet again, though, but this time it's going to work out for T1. That was weird. It was like we went back to the replay again, but we had, like, a Twilight Zone moment where we
like
go to a different outcome. Yeah, we got, like, its butterfly effect situation going on here. It's like, what happened if this had been the outcome?
keep in mind... I guess we're going to see this fight now, the alternate version.
And this might be a pillar actually being utilized effectively, as, nope, it was just Cuvée not being able to shoot it in the right direction, and he had to go early, which is, I think, 25% of T1's side of the map. As there's the Abyssal Voyage. Effort will have to battle dance to get himself out of here, but does so effectively. Now Teddy pops the W, but unable to actually find any of those empowered auto attacks. As now Cuz clearing out vision around the Drake. Haru eventually will be able to secure Shirley, but Cuz is booking it towards this mid lane, and Temp does have to vacate the area. Canna just trying to sandwich them as he moves on down. And it feels like there are a lot of trundles in this game when the Mountain Drake does come in, as Effort going down very, very low. The Devour comes in, but Teddy's at full health, as you can see. Teleport to come forward as Canna does have the ultimate available, and now Effort diving on in. He's very low as Lahans is going to go golden. That is not where you want to be, my friend, as there's the Featherstorm, and Teddy grabs 2 swift kills, not allowing either bottom lane member to escape, but the outer turret in the mid lane is going to fall, and Shirley's going to get a heck of a lot of work done here as HANWHA Life trying to do their best T1 from game 1 impression with how valuable these heralds can be.
Yeah, they surely made good use of that and really responding the best they could from a different part of the map. But I don't think anyone could have expected T1 to commit that hard to those double kills in that bottom lane. I mean, they used pretty much every summoner and ultimate they had in their arsenal.
Yeah, now Effort going aggressive once again. Tempt trying to offer what support he can, but the pillar is going to come down, and Faker does nail the ultimate this time, and Tempt is well and truly dead. Faker wants to pick up the kill, and he is going to have that one donated over, and T1 feels like they finally barrage by himself, and T1 now backing into the river and into darkness here on HANWHA Life's side, as this Control Ward will be taken down. But the T1 trap is being laid. No Ornhorn available for this team fight, because he's able to get in there. Great knockup is going to come down as Effort trying to keep everyone tied up, and the quickness is very valuable. And it's going to be the Silas that falls down. First cab off the rank, and T1 should be able to translate into a Mountain Drake and their first Drake of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kana was a little bit too aggressive using that ult early. Of course, it could have just resulted in many more kills if they positioned the same way for the Dragon.
It is available. No threat of a Mountain Soul just yet, as now Effort gets that knockup. Really great, but Lahens gets the Regurgitate and the Devour, of course, beforehand as True Shot Barrage sails by without affecting any...
Reckless is actually really what's helping the rest of the team decide when's the best time to initiate, right? Effort goes in, gets the CC, but we saw Faker holding off in his ultimate that time, and here comes the pillar.
There we go again. It's like you told us exactly what to expect, and he does it one more time as Faker just ran around a corner just for fun, I guess. That was really interesting, but that's going to be okay as Tempt throws down the hail of arrows, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to successfully defend this outer turret in the mid lane as T1 are bearing down upon it.
Yeah, I mean, we still have Faker with his ultimate, the Emperor's Divide coming in. The Chains of Corruption just to make people spread out a bit. Actually, that counteracts a True Shot Barrage, of course, coming down.
Tanky, so he can play as a frontline if he does have that one available, but won't be able to add this extra CC. And as you can see, it's working out so well for T1. Effort dives on in, he goes golden as well to keep himself alive. The health bars are getting melted by Teddy's damage, and Cuz flashing forward. Emperor's Divide to provide all of the kills for T1 as Teddy doesn't know where to go. There's just this bounty to be consumed on this map, and only Tempt will survive as T1 push up mid.
I mean, everyone played that really well on T1, but Effort just going in. He's really not afraid of anything. I think we saw his stats for Recon early on in the game. That's the only way this is possible. That's the only way you have that much participation in kills, that you're that active and bringing these potential wins in this game 3, of course, for T1 home to their team house, and now they're going on to Baron just to make sure that this momentum does not die out. Drake is up as well, and T1, I think they can just go ahead and position for that right after if they wish, as HANWHA tries to go rush that Drake.
You can see Haru is running towards the Dragon Pit, but the teleport going to be utilized by HANWHA Life as well. They want to guarantee that they can get to Soul Point off this one. But T1 went for a reset instead of moving straight towards the Dragon Pit, which will mean that HANWHA Life will be able to get their third Drake of the game. But unfortunately for them, they weren't able to grab the last Dragon, so this isn't as pivotal as the
tankier front line for HANWHA, but at the same time, it's not like they have that great of CC, right? They have the Chain of Corruption, which has to land, and then people have to stay in order to get the maximum potential. Obviously, it can be used to zone. But on top of that, Tahm Kench is a single target. I mean, having the Ornn ultimate to allow, in fact, Silas to maybe skirt around and go in for more damage or just Havoc, I think could be better. Right now, we see that Cuvée finally has picked up the Ornn ult for this fight, if there even is one.
Yeah, well, there's going to be the knock up there. It's going to be started as Effort finally does fall down. Maybe bit off a little bit more than he could chew at that particular instance, but whose Ram is better as Kanna throws his through as well. But HANWHA Life did manage to move to safety before that one happened, and as the dust settles, it's just T1 without their support.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're fine with that. Of course, Baramos still available. Teddy's still going in very strong.
In so much trouble. Yeah, Teddy's going to be able to pick up that kill very easily, and now it's a 4v4 truly as we move towards the inhibitor. Teddy down to about half health though, and there is a lot of poke damage available from this Varus. Faker getting tagged by a few of these skill shots, and HANWHA's composition in its poke capacity is starting to show itself. But maybe just a little bit too late here in this game as the inhibitor is going to fall. The inhibitor turret in the mid lane is very low also as T1 will bundle.
And I don't really see a way unless T1 makes a mistake trying to push into a turret maybe they shouldn't, which there's really only not that many options at this point with the number of turrets left before HANWHA can make a turnaround in this game 3.
Well, now you've got T1 pushing towards this inhibitor turret. They secured very easily their second Mountain Drake of the game, and it's going to mean that Kanna is even more tanky than he otherwise is. He has his Warmogs completed. He's got his beefed up items as well in his Forge Fire Cape and his upgraded Abyssal Mask, and now the inhibitor turret is going to be taking down. The fight has finally broken out. Good grand entrance, but it's mitigated by the rest of HANWHA Life, and Effort is going to fall down. Kanna now in a whole host of trouble, and HANWHA Life are playing this front to back and doing so quite well. Teddy zoned out of the fight as Faker goes golden and will eventually fall down as well, but now Teddy, the one-man army, is trying to get this fight working in his favor. The Featherstorm comes in, won't have the Blade Caller for a little while longer as the QSS is used for basically no reward. Cuvée goes down very low, but Teddy is going to survive as Tempt finally finishes off the kill, and HANWHA Life have managed to defend against T1. Cuz is alive, and so is the Baron, but I don't think that this Trundle's going to get any steals today.
Yeah, I mean, that would be very, very silly no matter how tanky you are, just given who's alive right now for HANWHA. Haru is not tanky enough to be really standing alone in front of that Baron, but HANWHA played that fight so well, on top of the fact that T1 seemed to be playing a little more cautious and therefore
for HANWHA is Faker just playing some defense here for T1, and Teddy just rips through this dragon. There is no way that HANWHA are going to get in here, and now T1 thinking about a team fight as well. The poke not quite landing as there's the on-horn over tempt, but great devour gets him out of the way. But that is now on cooldown for the ensuing fight. T1 still staying as a phalanx, but look at Teddy getting all of that poke on top of him. The pillar is just finesse is what he's opting into, as Haru taking too much damage there as the Blade Caller is going to pull back. And T1, they're poised for a fight right now.
Oh, the corruption not landing. There's Ornhorn.
Yep, that is going to be the go button here, as it's a really good pillar, but the flash after from Faker there, he just eliminates the Ezreal, and Haru's going to follow suit. This is the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. The man in the mid lane has found it in the end. He'll grab the triple kill, maybe even the quadra, as Teddy's looking for the extra damage, and there's the quadra kill for Faker himself. Fantastically playing out this last team fight, and T1 will get the monkey off their back as HLE fall to their hands.
I mean, after all that trouble, right? After all that trouble that Faker seemed to have this game and that T1 had in the last couple minutes, it really just takes one extensive dash from Faker, chasing all the way through to make sure they kill off one of the carries. And at that point, the enemy was so split thanks to the initiate with the Ornhorn.